shiny stick and the taste treat that was her main feature. The stick came to a sudden stop and seemed to split at the tip, and the forked effect was frightening. Considering how big of a witch she was, it didn't necessarily surprise me that she had what amounted to 2 pointy noses. But it was still discomforting to behold them up close. I stared too long, a moment too much, and Mrs. Rudolph recoiled a bit as if to say, "What?" So it didn't put me in her good graces when my hand instinctively reached for my own nose to feel whether my proboscis split as well. She put her hands on her hips and huffed, "And what exactly are you doing? That's not polite, you know." But I couldn't help it. I was enthralled. My fingers felt around my nose, examining the tip points. Just like Mrs. Rudolph, I had 2 nose tips as well. Only mine were buried beneath a layer of flesh like a normal person. It quickly became an uncontrollable habit. Whenever I saw Mrs. Rudolph, my hands jumped to my nose and felt for the 2 tips. At some point, as the year progressed, I began to feel sorry for the poor woman as I hounded her with nasal mimicry. She began to avoid looking in my direction, as I would spend hours staring at her nose while examining my own. Most children picked inside their noses. I felt mine up. But her nose had cast a spell on me, and it became something of a ritual to enter the classroom, glance at her face, and then fondle my own, assuring myself that I was still in that other Kansas, the one kept aside for people with normal features. It was my first quirk, my first small, nascent bit of what would become a lifetime devotion to crazy. A few months later, I entered the class to find Mrs. Rudolph with her back turned, engaged in a conversation with another broom rider. I was devastated. Didn't she know so much depended on our new routine? If I couldn't see her nose right away, I couldn't feel my own. And then I couldn't walk the exactly 3 steps to my desk, circle at once, and sit down so both of my butt cheeks touched plastic at the same time. Didn't she know that my quirks were reproducing like rabbits, and that her oddly shaped features were the cause of my burgeoning torment?